Hi, and with us is Gail Markham from Fort Myers, Florida. She's with the firm Markham, Norton, Mosteller, Wright. Welcome, Gail.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. I've known Gail for a long time. In fact, we're here at the conference with the Florida Institute of CPAs for their annual Forensic Accounting and Business Valuation Conference. And I was the initial chair of the committee back in 1989 or 1990. And Gail followed me right after I finished my work, so we've known each other a long time.
Yes, we have.
And just to show you the importance, this is how I met Gail, and we've been friends ever since, and also we've done work together, all because we were working on a committee, professional committee together.
Absolutely, a lot of long-time friendships as a result of this committee work.
Right. Gail, you are do a wide variety of work. You do some traditional accounting, forensic accounting. At one time you were doing business valuation and that sort of thing. So in the area of forensic accounting, how long have you been doing that?
I actually was doing it before it was even called forensic accounting, about 40 years ago. I was actually doing tax work, and I had some attorneys that were clients of the firm that needed some work done on some litigation, and they asked me to put together spreadsheets and information for court, and I guess that was forensic accounting before it was called that, about 40 years ago.
Okay, a little bit of time ago. Now, what kind of firm do you work for, and what's the geographic reach of your firm?
I work for the firm that I founded over 36 years ago, and I actually started all by myself. There's now about 45 of us. We have all of the traditional accounting services, tax and bookkeeping and financial statements and reviews. We do not do audits. And we have a lot of, large majority of our work is through the consulting services. That's helping our business clients grow their businesses and be more successful in many ways. So we have a lot of different areas of consulting. And then the area of which I am the partner in charge is the forensic accounting and valuation and mediation and fraud and those kind of investigative services.
And what's the geographic reach of your work?
We're pretty much Southwest Florida. We go outside of Southwest Florida, but the majority of our business is in Southwest Florida. That's
Fort Myers,
pretty much
Naples.
Fort Myers, Naples, Sarasota, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Hendry County, that whole area over there.
Okay, and then Central Florida, the Lake Okeechobee and so forth.
Yes.
Okay, I remember you did some work on a divorce with a famous bass fisherman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you mention names?
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But he's on TV.
That's right.
Okay, he's fishing.
Yes.
Fishing channel or whatever.
Good guy too.
Okay. So you're working in forensic accounting. You're a partner in charge of that. What kind of forensic accounting and business valuation do you do?
We do all kinds of forensic accounting. It can be a lot of high-end divorces where we're looking for the assets, we're valuing the assets, we're dividing up the assets, we determine income, lifestyle, many facets of a family going through a divorce. And also we can testify in court if we can't get it resolved in mediation. And I'm also a certified family mediator. So
what does that mean?
I actually certified by the Florida Supreme Court to mediate divorces.
Okay, and you have to be licensed to be a mediator in Florida proceedings.
It's not a license, it's certification. You go through a 40-hour course,
okay,
and you are certified by the Florida Supreme Court.
Okay.
So it's a process.
Okay. And what do you do as a mediator?
It's a great thing to do because you get to take the divorce beginning to end through the mediation process. And we have couples that come into our office, and I serve as the mediator.
That's both of them, right?
Yes.
They're fighting, so they...
Well, they're fighting nicely at that point.
Are they coming in the same car or not?
Sometimes, many times they do. It's the nicer ones.
Okay.
In other words, if they feel they can resolve their differences and get a divorce without an attorney or attorneys, then they come into my office, and the process is called pro se. In other words, there's no attorneys involved.
Okay.
And
so it's less contentious, right? Theoretically.
Theoretically, yes. And they can either stay in the same room together with me, or they can have separate rooms. Very rarely do I have it where they're in separate rooms. They actually sit there and talk to each other. In fact, more than once I've asked them why they're really getting a divorce.
Okay.
So anyway.
Have you been able to mediate maybe them reconciling and getting them back together?
We've had situations where they've taken a hiatus, but we have an agreement in effect, and virtually every single time at a later time we go ahead and file.
Okay.
But it's a process.
Okay.
And the process can be as quickly or as long as they wish to take, but it's a very good process.
Okay,
it's a very positive one.
So part of this process is the obvious financial
Yes.
aspect of it,
Yes.
but you're also involved with relationships between people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Especially with children. We have to put together a parenting agreement, and
You're doing this or helping
absolutely,
them do
we're
that?
doing this together.
Okay, as a mediator.
Yes. What we do is we go through the assets and liabilities and income and expenses of the various households, if there's more than one, and there will eventually be two, and the children's expenses and who's going to pay those, and the parenting agreements. And we go through the entire process, if there's going to be alimony or not. And once they sign all the documents, we fill out the documents and they sign them, we take them to the courthouse and we file them.
Okay. Now, there's no lawyer.
No lawyer.
No lawyer involved.
No lawyer.
There's during this meeting that's not so contentious. There's no lawyers interrupting and saying you can't do that. Blah blah blah. You're just trying to help them through this process.
Yes, and I do not tell them what to do. I ask a lot of questions, so they have to address various issues that must be resolved. But I start out the process by asking each one of them to tell me about themselves and what unresolved issues they perceive there is in this mediation, and we make a list and we just work through them.
Okay, excellent. Can you talk about a couple of interesting projects that you worked on over your career in forensic accounting?
Oh, gosh. Every case is interesting and unique, and as we describe it to others, it's like taking a 1,000-piece puzzle with no picture on it and putting all the pieces out and going, I have no clue how to put this together. And we work on it piece by piece. You know how you put the border together first. We start getting the facts of the case, and we see where the issues are, and then we do whatever we need to do with that, either report it to the court or take it whatever point we need to resolve it. And it can be, and for many reasons, it can be business disputes.
Can you give us an example of a case that's particularly memorable to you?
Oh, I have many. We're just finishing a fraud one where the FBI just took over. It's a SEC company.
Okay. And what's your role?
Well, my role is the partner in charge. One of my associates, Becky, has really been in the trenches on that one. But that's especially interesting because we found basically what appears to be fraud in many
of a publicly registered company.
Yeah, it's kind of like all over the place in the company. So
you got investors interested, you got the government regulators interested. Maybe some criminal?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, but it's more than one layer within the organization, and you know how usually it starts at the top?
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. You got another project that's particularly interesting?
Two projects that actually came in this week, and they're very similar. We have heirs or supposed heirs of estates that really didn't get anything. And now they're questioning where the money for the estate, after both of them had a father that passed, and the money disappeared. And then one just happened to find out there's some stuff in his sister's name that should have been disclosed. So he came in and we went through all that and told him what he needed to do on his end, and then we would do our investigatory work after that. So.
Okay, so what was it? Dad's rich, right?
Well, Dad should have had some money, and there was no money.
Rich. And then when he passed on and they're looking around, where's the money?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we would be checking that out.
That's your job to find the money.
Yes, yes. Our forensics team includes 3 CPAs, 3 certified fraud examiners.
Who are non-CPAs?
They're CPAs also. 2 licensed private investigators, 1 certified financial planner, 1 certified family mediator, and also a divorce financial planner. So we've got a whole litany of professionals with different areas of expertise that we bring together as a team.
Okay, and then you pull together the team as you need them on a project-by-project basis.
Absolutely.
Okay. How did you first get interested in this kind of work?
Well, I was getting really bored with regular accounting work and tax and stuff like that.
Didn't like filling in the numbers on a
Nah,
tax
I got
return?
really bored with that. And some attorneys are the ones that said to me, we really need you to do this kind of work. You have the personality for it. So they kind of poked and pushed me and started me in it, and then now I haven't stopped.
So you were shy before then?
Yeah, right. I've always been shy. You've known me a long time, Mike.
Right. Can you comment from your perspective the current and future demand for forensic accounting and business valuation services?
You know, as long as there's greed around, we're in business and we're busy.
Okay.
Okay? Greed's the ticket, isn't it?
Always looking for good staff?
Absolutely. We are short and we're looking.
Okay, so there you have it. If you want to go to Fort Myers.
It's a great place to live and a great firm to be in, and it's not just litigation. We need tax professionals and consulting professionals. Come on over. It's great in Fort Myers.
Okay.
And Naples too.
All right. Now, in terms of somebody who's younger in this career of forensic accounting or business valuation, what traits are important that they have in order to be successful in these areas?
I think that, we had a little comment earlier, we cannot have wilting flowers, can we? You just have to have a strong sense of self.
Okay.
And you have to have an opinion. And you just have to feel comfortable with going and doing stuff a little bit outside of the box and putting together that 1,000-piece puzzle with no picture on it. And if you like to do that kind of stuff, you love what we do.
You're not going to be able to look at last year's work papers and see the checklist and I'll just say, I'll do it all again with this year's numbers.
We don't do those.
Right.
Yes, we don't have any checklists.
That's what you got bored with and then moved into this.
Yes, I don't like checklists.
Right. Okay.
As you well know.
Right. Now, can you give any advice that we haven't talked about to forensic accounting or business valuation students?
What I would suggest you do is do some shadowing, doing some internships in different areas and within an accounting firm that has these other areas of expertise, because we strongly encourage that, and that's really where you find what your passion is. And you need to find out what your passion is. That's the most important thing that I can impart on you.
Okay. All right. Gail Markham, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mike.